Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And it is a special Valentine's Day episode. We're going to talk about some conspiracies surrounding Valentine's Day. Do you just want to get right into it?
Yeah, I don't know any conspiracies about Valentine's Day, so this is going to be really interesting.
Well, the first one is pretty simple. That it's not really like a conspiracy, but it could be. I guess it is just a well-known conspiracy. That people say that Valentine's Day was created by the greeting card companies. Just as like a commercial holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Just to sell cards and candy, flowers. And you look at Walmart and Target, there's rows and rows and rows of just Valentine's Day shit.
I can see that, and that would be going back really far because my dad was a trash man before I was born. When he was
Really?
He was a trash man in Huntington Beach in like the early 70s. Late 60s, early 70s.
I would love to see how trash ties into this, so please continue.
Well, a lot of people would get rid of a lot of good stuff. And back then it was like where you had to jump out, you had to get the bin, and you had to put it in. And he would, he was like a young, in his 20s, like, bachelor, broke trash man, and he would like find, but they would throw away good stuff, like he got bikes, he got like all kinds of stuff. So one time he found this box, and it was full of vintage Valentine's Day cards.
Wow.
From like the early like 1920s, 1930s, and he saved them. And
that's amazing.
I think somewhere in the family we have them somewhere, but I remember as a kid I would always say, can I see the Valentine's Day cards? Because they were very elaborate and very ornate, and like they would have like
the layers of lace type thing
and pop up.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine they were probably all handmade, super delicate, because everything back then was so like handmade. It wasn't mass produced.
Well, a lot of them were mass produced though, but they were made with like doilies and like not necessarily
doilies. I forgot about those. Remember in like elementary school you would like use doilies to make Valentine's Day? Like little heart doilies, and
they would be like that little doily, but it would be like layered, like a heart doily with like a kitty on it, with like a mailbox, and a mailman like putting the thing in the mailbox, and then it would be
so
like
cute.
And I remember specifically there was one that I really liked, and I don't know if you know what or who the character Felix the cat is.
Yeah.
Okay, so this Felix the cat was, I think it started as Betty Boop's cat, or it was a similar cat.
Really?
Yeah, and Betty Boop started way back in
in like 30s.
No, I think, well, it might be the 20s or the teens, like 1917, 18, 19. You'd have to look it up. But the cool thing about this was it was a Valentine's Day card, and when you pulled the cat's tail, the eyes went side to side.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I know of Felix is because of the clocks.
Yeah.
The Felix clocks, and the eyes would go side to side.
It was like that. It was like a cuckoo clock, but it was like from the 1920s, and I loved that one.
That is so crazy.
And then there was another one that I really loved.
So she was it was 1930.
Oh, it was nice. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So it must have been the 30s.
Appearance.
Yeah. But the other thing that I loved is that these cards on the back of them, they were inscribed like with like
Felix. Yeah, they were. I don't know if that was her cat per se, but Felix was in cartoons with her.
So that's why, as a kid, I always thought it was her cat.
Put it together. Yeah, that is so interesting. I didn't really see too much of that because by then it was, by the time I was a kid, they were mainly doing Hanna-Barbera and Fred Quimby cartoons like Looney Tunes, Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And I mean, like, even when I was little, like, Betty Boop and Felix the Cat wasn't really, like, super popular still. But I just knew who it was probably because my parents.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I knew who it was, but they just didn't show those cartoons on TV.
Yeah.
All right, well. That's so interesting.
So that's why I think that, yes, that is plausible, that it is the
greeting card company, at least pushing it harder.
But even back then they did it. Yeah. That was way back then.
Well, I mean, Macy's is a huge department store that was made in the late 1800s.
Oh, really? Was that far?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
And then Levi Strauss, like that jean company, came out in the early 1800s.
Well, I knew that because I know if you find one of those old pairs of Levi's, they sell at auction for, I don't even know how much, thousands of dollars if you have an authentic, you know, and they would find them in mines.
Yeah.
Those jeans.
Yeah.
Because the miners would wear them for actual, like, they were working class. Like, now they're, like, if you wear them, like, it's, anybody wears them now. But back then it was just mainly, like, the workers, the miners and farmers and whatnot.
Yeah, like, the oldest department store was called Lord and Taylor. And it was, it started in 1826.
Wow.
So there were department stores, and that was just here, like, in America. Yeah. When you think about in England and Europe where it was already, you know, developed and everything, they could totally be pushed just to sell greeting cards. So, anyways, the next part is that Valentine's Day was perpetuated in order to create distractions from away from the government and like all the bad shit that's going on, just to have like love and harmony and yay, beautiful hearts, rainbows, flowers, and if it's not the government, then maybe it's like part of like the secret societies that like quote unquote run the world, like the Illuminati, the Masonaries, just any of those large people that are quote unquote running the world to just keep us distracted. You think about it, there's a holiday every month. So it's like, oh no, there's like, you know, bad shit going on in the world, bombing and war. Well, here we're celebrating Mardi Gras, we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Memorial Day, you know, like.
Yeah, a lot of distractions. Holidays are a good distraction, that's for sure. And it does bring people together, morale boost.
Yes, morale for the community.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day could have also been invented by the government or CIA to get surveillance or like intercept information.
Oh, yeah, because people would have to mail the cards.
Yes, because back then it was snail mail. So they would send letters through Valentine's, and that would be the perfect opportunity for people to send messages.
And they could do it in code even.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be weird to send a lot of mail and it would be lost in the mail. Or opposite, the government would know, like surveilling who's talking to who, who's in close contact with who. They could intercept letters.
Wow,
that's a little bit more far-fetched, but even if it's just like an address, like the return address of somebody, like, oh, look, this person's love got a letter, well, the person who sent it is the mobster, blah, 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 where it's the return address. Now let's look from there.
Well, what if it's the kind of thing where they're sending in the mail as a Valentine, right? But it's getting sent to some shady, weird, like warehouse somewhere random on some weird dock or something. They're like, why would you send it there?
Yeah, so that one's a little bit far-fetched, but another thing that is that another like maybe issue with Valentine's Day is that it perpetuates gender stereotypes. So the man gets the cards, flowers for the woman. It promotes the quote-unquote American family values. Yeah. The unattainable family values of traditional roles of husband and wife, and puts unnecessary societal pressures of what romance and love should be, and just like unattainable ideas of love equating to happiness. Like if you have your love, then that means happiness. If you have your perfect little family and this and that, kind of to keep the thought there is to kind of keep people on track to trying to get to that perfect little
American family, little cookie cutter, but at the same time keep them down, wrapped in a little bubble to be like, well, you still haven't gotten it, haha, or, you know.
Yeah, I could see that, and I could see how people wouldn't really like the way that the gender roles were defined. But that would have started so long ago before. Yeah, it was
LGBTQ, whatever.
None of that.
Now you would think that the government would be more okay with if the government was behind it, they'd be more okay with trying to unify, like, girl on girl, boy on boy, like, and having more cards that are like, I'm a girl, I love you, and you're a girl.
But if you go to Disney, because, you know, we always go to Disney, or you always go to Disney, there's been movies out where they've had those relationships in movies and people have gotten really pissed off.
Yeah, well,
so if they put it on a greeting card,
they had one Pixar short film where it's called Out, and it was actually like the guy had a boyfriend that he was hiding from his family, and he came out to his family and stuff, and that was a little Pixar short. But other than that, they said that there's been conspiracies that
didn't they just have their first transgender character in that movie? We
Elemental.
Yeah, Elemental.
Wave was not. I watched the movie. He was not transgender. Him and the fire chick end up getting together.
No, I know, but I thought that there was something with
That's what they were trying to say. The conspiracy people are trying to say that, but it wasn't true.
Okay.
Another movie was
Gaston.
Luca. No.
Oh, Luca.
Yeah. Where they're saying, and Brad, I never watched the movie, but Brad watched it with the kids, and he, like, really watched it. And I was like, yeah, I guess that this boy and this boy are supposed to be, like, in love with each other or something. And there's a girl in it, too. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, no, they aren't. Mm-hmm. They're just really good, like, they're friends. That's his best friends. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Why is everyone trying to make everything gay or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything is wrong with being gay, whatever. But no, it wasn't.
But why do you have to put that on a kid's movie,
yeah,
too?
Like, why are people saying this? Like, Brad was like, why would they say that? That's not what that's about. Mm-hmm. So, both of those are not correct.
I've watched the movie Luca, and I never thought that.
Yeah, so I never watched it.
They turn into, like, mermaids. Or not mermaids, but they're, like,
sea monsters.
Sea monsters, yeah.
I tried to watch it a couple times. I couldn't do it, so... anyways, but the Elemental I have seen multiple times, and no, like, that's not... And I went into it looking for that, and I couldn't find it at all, so...
Yeah.
So, Valentine's Day was created by the pagans. It was actually called Lupercalia, and it was after the Roman god of fertility, Lupercus. Oh. And this was to celebrate fertility.
Yeah.
So men would get naked, sacrifice a goat and a dog.
Weird.
Then young men would take the hide from the sacrificed animals, and they would proceed to flog young, fertile women, I would assume, like their girlfriend, wife, something.
With the animal carcass?
Yes. No, with the hide. So, like, the skin. With the bloody skin.
So weird.
In order to help promote, like, fertility. It's supposed to help with the fertility.
These poor women are probably thinking, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And so then the Catholic Church came along and came into power and ended that shit. And declared February 14th to be a day of feast to celebrate St. Valentine. And St. Valentine is the patron of lovers, people with epilepsy, and beekeepers. Just to name a few, because he is the patron of a bunch, but those are like his three main ones, so it's so random.
Epilepsy and bees?
Beekeepers, yeah.
How does that even go
I don't know.
Okay.
I know. I'm relaying facts here.
Yeah, it's just interesting how they...
And then, the Lupercalia was, it was a 3-day festival from the 13th to the 15th. So 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And St. Valentine was a Roman priest who would perform secret weddings against the wishes of the authorities in the 3rd century. And he died February 14th, 270 AD.
270.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, like a long, long time ago. And they were already, the pagans were already doing this way before, which, by the way, I feel like with every holiday, it's like, it's the pagans, then it's the Catholics that take it. It's like a tug-of-war. Like, it's so weird. Like, why?
We need to do a deep dive into the pagans.
Yes, we talked about that. Maybe I'll do that next. So, moving forward, so now Valentine's Day is celebrated in multiple countries. Here are just some of them and different things that they do. So Argentina, instead of having February the 14th, a day, they have what's called a Sweetness Week.
Ooh.
All of July. Not all of, a week in July.
Oh, okay.
Instead,
in July.
In July.
Okay.
And then Bulgaria, they drink a lot of wine. Same with on February 14th, but drink a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Denmark and Norway, they send Valentines. And if you guess, like Secret Admirer Valentines.
Oh.
And if you guess the right person who sent it, you get an Easter egg then you have, oh my gosh. If you guessed it right, then you get an Easter egg on the next holiday, or you have to give the Secret Admirer an Easter egg. Somebody gives somebody an Easter egg at the end.
But is it like a dyed egg, or is it like an Easter egg with a gift
It didn't
inside?
say, it just said Easter egg.
Oh, weird.
So Denmark and Norway. So if I was to give you a Secret Admirer Valentine's, and you guessed it was me, then I would have to give you an Easter egg, or you would give me an Easter egg.
And that's how I would
goes.
know that it was right. No, I think you would have to. Okay, you gave me the Valentine as a Secret
and then you
Admirer.
guessed it. But the Easter egg doesn't happen until Easter, so it's like 2 months later.
Yeah, but then 2 months later, you find out if you were right or wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you were right, you get it. And if you're
I
wrong,
guess that would
then
be
you
it.
don't get it. And you'd be like, well, damn it, then who was it?
So, okay, yeah. So that sounds right. So Germany, instead of them being hearts and Cupid and all that, they're pigs. So they give, like, figurines of, like, pigs.
Why
That's,
pigs?
like, their symbol of love is pigs.
What?
I don't know. Thailand, they do risky marriages.
What?
On Valentine's Day.
What is a risky marriage?
They get married and have ceremonies while they're skydiving, bungee jumping, underwater, scuba diving.
Whoa, that's very memorable.
Yeah.
You're like, what'd you do on your wedding? I jumped out of an airplane.
And got married. Yeah, exactly. On Wales, it is celebrated on the 25th, January 25th. China, they celebrate Valentine's Day on February 14th, but their story is that there was a forbidden love affair between a mortal and a celestial weaver.
Oh.
I meant to look up celestial weaver and what that is.
Celestial weaver sounds like to me somebody who can transcend dimensions, or like celestial.
I totally forgot to. I even have a space here so I could go back to do it. And Weaver is one of the more complex elementalist specs, but this fire weaver can be extremely survivable. I'm not sure.
Celestial weaver.
Maybe night skies.
Well, yeah, celestial would be like sky in the night, and then weaver would be like you weave something, you go through something. So I'm thinking it's like can transcend celestial realms, dimensions.
Whatever. It was between a mortal and somebody really not mortal. And so there's a forbidden love affair, and that's why they celebrate February. And this is China. And
celestial weaver could be like a god.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it say online?
I'm trying to look it up really quick and I can't figure it out. So I'll just keep going.
Yeah, let's see if I can find it.
So the Czech Republic celebrates on May 1st. And they actually go to Karel Hynek Maka, which is a poet who was a poet, and there's a statue of her, and they go to the statue and kiss under the statue for good luck.
Oh, that's cute.
Right. Israel celebrates in the summer. Philippines, they have, get this, the government sponsors a mass Valentine's Day marriage ceremonies all day for hundreds of couples all at one time. So the picture that I saw was literally rows and rows and rows of couples all decked out. Like their wedding dress was like a full wedding dress. This isn't just like a court ceremony, like a full on wedding dress. And there's like probably like 200 people there, 200 or 300 people, you know, and they're all getting married.
That's insane.
And they all do it at the same time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Romania celebrates on February 24th. Slovenia celebrates on either March 12th or February 22nd because they celebrate on the first day of spring. Because to them, Valentine was the patron of spring, good health, and beekeepers.
Oh, there you go.
Beekeepers again. That's why it's like springtime for the bees. South Africa, they celebrate on February 15th, and they also celebrate the Lupercalia still. So they're the pagan ritual. They still celebrate that. Spain is October 9th, and Taiwan is February 14th and July 7th. So they do it twice.
They have two? Well, some have like a week long, and they have two.
Yeah. So, like, mid-year, they get another one. It's like Christmas in July, but Valentine's Day in July. So, other countries that are just, like, normal like us, February 14th, is Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Guatemala, Denmark. Or not Denmark, I'm sorry. England, Finland, Estonia, France, Ghana, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Mexico, and South Korea.
And those are all on the 14th?
Those are all the 14th and celebrate just like we do. So, yeah. So
there's a lot of different traditions.
It's interesting. And that's a lot of different, that's only 30 countries that I named off. There's obviously more
It's only 30.
Well, there's more countries that celebrate, but those are just like snapshot, the bigger ones. But obviously there's like hundreds of countries in the world, so...
So when I looked up Celestial Weaver more, it's just all these images in open art where people just do rendering, you know, of what they believe, and they all look just like
they look like almost like an angel, but there's like
in space,
purple, blue, black, pink.
Some look like they're like radiating like light out of them,
or something. Yeah,
chakras. Some of them kind of like chakras.
Yeah, so just very ethereal and astral.
Yeah.
So, yep. So that's my Valentine's Day little episode. So we hope that you guys had a great Valentine's Day, or have a great Valentine's Day, because that's going to be tomorrow.
Yes.
And
happy Valentine's Day.
We will be live tomorrow for Valentine's Day in general. Just doing regular episodes. So happy Valentine's Day. And don't forget to check us out tomorrow on Facebook. And email us at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com with any fun things that you did for Valentine's Day. Yeah. I'm rambling now.
No.
Don't forget to
share, like, and subscribe.
And we will see you next week or tomorrow if you follow us on Facebook. Thank you. Bye.